All right, no participants to talk to yet. Let's give them a second and see how it goes. All right. Oh, we've got one. Welcome. Welcome, folks. We're just going to give it a second or two to let people get logged in, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. Hi, Carmeline and Yvonne and Ronasia and Amy. Thank you for joining us. Please go ahead and test your chat function. We would love to be able to answer your questions and talk to you. I give it another minute or two and give you all a chance to get logged in, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please do go ahead and check your chat function. Make sure that you can chat with us because we really, really want to answer your questions tonight. Daniela, don't be nervous. Although I'll tell you the truth, I'm a little nervous too. I've never done this before, so we're all guinea pigs together. So don't be nervous. We're here to help. All right, we're at officially 7:01. Do you guys want to get started? Ashley, Alex, are we good to go?
Good to
Awesome.
go.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So welcome, students, families, friends, whoever has logged in. We are very, very excited to talk to you tonight. I'm going to start with some introductions, and we're going to talk a little bit about kind of what we're going to say tonight. We're going to go through some basic information for you, but I want you all to feel very welcome to ask questions at any time. We're also going to have a question and answer series session kind of at the end of the formal presentation as well. So if you think of something later that you forgot to ask, don't worry, hang on to it, and we will go ahead and get there. I'm going to start with introductions. My name is Elaine Petrie, and I am actually the admissions officer at Fort Myers Technical College, and I am an employee here at the Lee Technical Colleges. We have a sister school in Cape Coral, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to get involved and enrolled with the tech colleges here in Lee County. Next would be Alex.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alex Martinson. I work for the Department of Undergraduate Admissions at Florida Gulf Coast University, and I am the local recruiter, so I service Lee, Collier, and Charlotte counties.
Ashley?
All right, and I'll just jump right on in. So my
Please.
name is Ashley Crilly, and I'm the Associate Director of Recruitment Operations at beautiful Florida Southwestern State College. So that is working in the Office of Admissions at the Fort Myers campus.
Great. I'm going to go ahead and move us forward here and talk about our next options. There we go. So before I begin, there's a lot of people to thank in putting this together. So we were all brought together by something called the Future Makers Coalition, and they're a part, one of the many arms of the Southwest Florida Community Foundation. And one of their big initiatives always is to help students better themselves, to help prepare students for the workforce, to help folks get education, to help them with funding, to help them in all kinds of ways. We've also got the colleges that we've already talked to, Florida Southwestern, Florida Gulf Coast University, Cape Coral Tech, and Fort Myers Tech. We've also worked closely with the Foundation for Lee County Public Schools, with the School District of Lee County, with Sylvan Learning, and with College Unmazed, which is a great resource if you're looking to get enrolled in school. So all of those folks have come together to kind of bring us to help you with your applications for school. So that's really what we're working on tonight, okay? So we've already talked about who your experts are. I want you to feel free to ask questions about either the tech colleges, about our great Florida Southwestern State College, and then also about those 4-year degrees and more 4 years baccalaureate, masters, and PhDs that are available at Florida Gulf Coast University. So all of that is available to everyone. So please do ask questions. An overview of kind of what we're going to talk about today: our college visits, college applications themselves, additional documents that may or may not be required, admissions, decisions, and timelines, preparing for today and tomorrow. And then again, as I mentioned, we really want to follow up and answer all of your questions. Getting the technology down about this. I'm going to pass this first one off to Alex, and I'm going to have you start on this one, talking about the types of college visits that you offer there at FGCU, and then Ashley, and then I'll follow up with how we handle it at the tech colleges. So Alex, all yours.
Great. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, you guys. And again, just to reiterate, this is something that we are your resource. So we are the people to help you here with our respective institutions. So thanks again for tuning in. With regard to a college visit, I personally think it is the best way to see a campus firsthand. Of course, you can visit, most times throughout the day, but especially for our, university at FGCU, we do offer a couple different types of visits. We have a tour that you can schedule through our Welcome Center, and that is available online. You can register if you type in visit into our search bar, or it's actually on the homepage as well. So that's a great way to schedule a tour. We have a guided tour that takes a bus full of students and families around campus. You get to see our academic corridor. You get to see Alico Arena, where we have our athletics facilities. And then, of course, you also get to see on-campus housing. So it's a great way to get a comprehensive view of campus. That's one option. The second option that, of course, I like to plug, just coming up here on this coming Saturday, October 19th, we have Eagle Expo, which is our big campus open house event. And so that is a great way to see some of the academic programs specifically. So if you have questions about exercise science, or if you have questions about legal studies, an individual program, you're going to be able to come onto campus, see it firsthand, maybe get inside some of the classrooms, some of the lecture halls, things of that nature, and then speak with people from those programs. On top of that, we also have student clubs and organizations available. Some of our athletic teams will be there, so it's a great way to visit campus as an open house, kind of come and go as you please, much more casual.
Great. And Ashley, what's the best way to come and see FSW?
Okay, so anyone is able to visit our website, fsw.edu. If you click on future students and then campus tours, you are then able to schedule a campus tour of any of our campus locations. And then also we do have the link for the virtual tour as well. So if you're not able to actually come visit our college, it offers a great opportunity for you to explore the campus from your own living room without even having to leave your house. We also do have, if you're not able to make it for one of our normally scheduled tours, which are usually offered like 2 to 4 times a week, we also do have a self-guided tour. So you can pick that document up in any of our admissions offices, our campus libraries, and then you can go ahead and explore the campus yourself. I find that taking a normally scheduled campus tour, it offers the best experience for you to actually see the sights and the sounds that FSW offers. All of our tours are student-led, so it offers you a great opportunity to have a real-life student right in front of you to be able to ask any type of question that you'd like to, because we all know that questions are how you're going to find out your answers about any particular campus. So we love when students come on to our campus. And then we also do offer a host of various different events, anything from an instant decision day that allows you to essentially complete all of the admission steps all in one go. So everything from applying for free to selecting an upcoming orientation date. And then we also have like Bucks for Bucks events where students learn a little bit more about scholarships and get some assistance in completing the financial aid application, that FAFSA, or they can get some assistance completing our admissions application or our scholarship application. But all of this offers a way for you to get on campus and see if FSW feels good. Keep in mind, you are going to be spending quite a bit of time on the college campus, so you might as well pick a college that you feel good and you start to feel alive once you do get on campus.
Awesome. So the tech colleges are a little bit different, and then we're a little bit smaller. What we do is we offer public information sessions that we do twice a week, and those are available either on the Fort Myers campus or on the Cape Coral campus. We do those on Tuesday mornings at 9:30 a.m. or on Thursday afternoons at 1 p.m. All we ask, you don't need to make an appointment, you don't need to make a reservation, please just come on in. We go ahead and we talk you through everything that you need to enroll at those sessions. We ask that you bring a photo ID and show up about 5 minutes early so we can get you logged in, and then we'll go ahead and talk you through everything that you need to know. Financial aid, residency, admissions documents, academics, anything that you need to know, and then we usually finish it off with a tour. And I'm usually the one who hosts the one on the Fort Myers campus. So if you're looking to meet me in person, come on in. I would love to take you around campus and show you any of the programs that you're interested in. You get a chance to chat with instructors. You can ask students who are actually in program. And our classes are ongoing at those times. So you actually, it's a little loud when you walk into our welding facility. They're welding. But we for sure will take a break and let you ask some questions and take a look around and see, again, as Ashley said, it's really important to find someplace that you feel at home in, that feels right to you. And so we're all looking for opportunities to give you options to really take a good look at the campus so that you can see how and where you fit best. Because she's right, it's a lot of time to spend being on campus. And so we want you to feel right at home. Any questions about the visits before I move on to anything else? Looking at our chat functions and see if we've got any folks asking any questions. All right. Well, I hope that no questions means that you're already making appointments because we're looking forward to seeing you real soon. Okay. I'm going to go on to our next topic.
All right.
So the college application. How about Ashley, you start this one and then we'll go to Alex and then I'll finish up again. Ashley, please. Okay.
So I know that there are different types of applications that admission offices implore, but FSW has an institutional type of admissions application. So essentially, the only way to apply to Florida Southwestern State College is by visiting our webpage at fsw.edu, and you can either click directly in the upper right-hand corner, or you can also go to apply.fsw.edu. Both of those will take you to the FSW admissions application. It's rather simple. It takes about like 10 to 15 minutes to complete. It does not include any types of like essay questions or require letters of recommendations or test scores or anything along those lines for you to complete the initial application. And essentially the application process is going to be to first complete that application for admissions on the webpage that I just talked about, and then to submit your in-progress high school transcripts. Typically those can be requested from either contacting the high school itself or the school district in which the high school is located in. And then essentially, after you do complete the admissions application, you will then receive an email pretty immediately after, letting you know, like, thank you so much for completing your application. And then as soon as we receive your in progress or unofficial high school transcripts, essentially you then will receive an email letting you know exactly what your student ID number is, and congratulating you on being accepted. Florida Southwestern State College does not have any minimum test score requirements or any minimum GPA requirements because we are essentially an open access institution, meaning that we have no minimum requirements. So as long as you are on track to graduate with a standard high school diploma, we can go ahead and accept you.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Alex, what about FGCU?
Yes, and at FGCU, we've had a few changes compared with last year in the admissions process. And so just kind of highlight some of those changes. We are now actually on the Common App. So that is in addition to our native app, our institutional app that's on our website, fgcu.edu. And so you can fill out either application. We ask that you don't fill out both, but fill out one or the other. Submit those to us. And then also you'll be instructed then to follow up with official SAT or ACT scores. We do have requirements with the SAT or ACT. It is competitive, so there are no necessarily minimums that guarantee your admission, but our averages are 1141 on the SAT and 23.4 on the ACT. Again, that's 1141 on the SAT, 23.4 on the ACT. That's our average. And then, of course, you'll submit either an official high school transcript, again, from your school, or you can fill out the SSAR, the SAR, or the self-reported student academic record. That is a totally free account that we can link with your Eagle account when you do apply, and it basically serves as a preliminary transcript for the student to input their classes and then their grades. So that's a way that we can evaluate them as well. So again, application either on our website or Common App, the SAT or ACT scores, and then the transcript or the SAR, and that completes your application and makes you ready for review.
Perfect. Now I see that Noel's got a question up there. If your school uses Naviance, how do you ensure that transcripts and letters of recommendation are received by your school if sent through the Naviance platform? Now, I am going to be honest and say that I'm not familiar with the Naviance platform. Are either of the two of you?
Yes.
Okay, please, if you could
with
respond.
So essentially, from what I gather from the Naviance platform, what it looks like from the back end for students, it does actually identify a date in which your documents have been sent, whether they be like transcripts or letters of recommendation. But again, the best way to actually identify if those letters have been sent are to follow up with the Office of Admissions. And the best way to usually do that is just by sending us a quick email. Our email address is admissions@fsw.edu, so admissions@fsw.edu.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, just to follow up on that, the exact same thing for us. If you, when you apply to FGCU, you're going to create a future Eagle account. And when you log into that Eagle account, there will be what we call supplemental items. And that will include those materials that I just discussed. And it will tell you when those are received by our admissions department.
Perfect. And we've got another question up that says, does FGCU require volunteer hours or other classes to be taken in high school, like 2 years of a foreign language, before being admitted?
We do not require a certain number of volunteer hours, but we do require foreign language. It's the same requirement, 2 years of a consecutive language, foreign language, that's needed to graduate from a high school in Florida. So, and I actually have our admissions and aid page here. So I'm going to post that for you guys. And that is a great resource. It has all of our admission requirements on there. It'll kind of funnel you through the process. So if you're a prospective undergraduate student, you can select that. If it's your first time in college, it will kind of funnel you through that process. If you're a transfer student, it'll help you with that as well.
Awesome, great. Just to follow up on my application at the technical college, we actually just have an application that is done in person. As I mentioned, we're a pretty small institution, so we have you come in, you find out everything that you need at one of those public information sessions, and then you'll come in and fill out a little bit of paperwork with us. We are kind of closer to Ashley's rubric, if you will, in that we don't restrict admission in any way. If you have a standard high school diploma, you are welcome to come on campus. And in some cases, even if you don't have a standard high school diploma, we have some of our programs that don't even require that much. Our big limiting factor on our campus is size. I literally have to restrict applications because I've only got so many spots in the program. So it's not about the application, it's going to be about how many folks can I literally fit in the program of your choice. And so that's really our limiter. But the college application is really just an information gathering kind of process for us. Just who are you? Which program are you interested in? Are you a Florida resident? Those are the kinds of things that we're looking to fulfill in our application process. So there's really no limiter on joining us. We don't require test scores, SAT, ACT. None of that is necessary for joining us on our campus. Okay. And Noel's got another question. If a student complains the SAR, will they eventually need an official transcript?
The answer is yes. We will need an official transcript sent. The SAR, because it's self-reported in nature, we trust the student is reporting that accurately, but then we do follow up and have an official transcript sent once all high school coursework is complete and the diploma is awarded. So yes, the student will submit a final transcript at the end of their high school graduation.
And just as an aside for everybody, in order to qualify for any kind of federal financial aid, we need that standard high school diploma on file somewhere here on our campus to be able to make sure that you are eligible to get assistance in paying for school as well. So that doesn't have anything to do with the actual application, but it certainly is going to impact your admittance into the college as far as being able to take care of the bills that are going to come along with that.
Right.
Yes.
Anything else, guys?
No, I'm just so happy you said that.
We need official transcripts. We love official transcripts. All right, I'm going to move on to the next one here for you. So additional documents. How about I jump in on this one first? I'll take the first turn on this one. Our big one, as I mentioned, really the only thing that I need from you is if you have a standard high school diploma in the state of Florida, there is no additional testing on my campus whatsoever. So as long as you graduated with a standard high school diploma since 2007, folks. So if you've got older brothers, sisters, cousins, anybody who wants to come to school, no additional testing if they graduated from Florida since 07. My big thing is going to be residency. And here's a big thing that you need to know. If you are under 24 years of age, you are unable to prove your own Florida residence, mostly because you are not an independent student yet. If you're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, chances are mom and dad are helping pay the bills. When you flip the switch to come on in your house, you didn't pay for that electricity. Mom or dad did. So they are the ones who prove your Florida residency. If you're a recent high school graduate, you can use a transcript from a Florida high school as long as you've been attending Florida high school for, I believe it's 3 years, and then one additional ID from a parent is going to go ahead and establish your residency, which is huge because that's what enables you to get in-state Florida tuition, which is a huge difference between in-state and out-of-state tuition at all three of our schools. I can say that my average tuition for most of my programs runs between $4,000 and $6,000 for in-state tuition, and out-of-state tuition runs about $18,000 to $20,000 for most of my programs. I know it is a huge difference. So that's the one thing that we really work on our campus, although we do obviously really encourage everyone to complete that FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. Please note that first word, free application. It hurts nothing to ask. So we really, really encourage you to do that. And those are really the only things that I need on my campus other than that official transcript that we talked about. Anyone else, Ashley, Alex, who'd like to jump in next?
Okay.
Sorry, Ashley.
Actually, we have some questions. Yeah, answer the questions.
Oh, please.
If you don't mind. Yeah, I do see November 1st is our early action deadline for FGCU, and that's a new priority as of this year again. November 1st, by completing your application at that point, you're going to be pooled together with our early action applicant pool. And so that's kind of an added benefit. Those students who complete their applications by November 1 will then receive an admissions decision in the month of December. So we're hoping before the holidays. And so, that's something we're really excited for this year. And then the question is, if you have updated SAT or ACT scores, the answer is yes. You can always submit those to us. I should say throughout the remainder of the senior year. So actually, in years past, we've allowed students to test throughout the month of March. So whatever that last test is, SAT or ACT in the month of March, you're actually able to take that and submit those to us for updated test scores. Same thing goes for scholarship purposes. In years past, that's how we've done it, where you can provide updated test scores. But the biggest takeaway message that I would say is still get that application in early. So picture the application is separate. It's mutually exclusive from updated test scores. So those two things, can come in at different times. We always encourage students to apply early.
Great. Less panic, less waiting. Early
Yes.
application means early notification. So you're set. You're ready to go. So that's a great tip.
Absolutely.
Ashley?
Okay, so for Florida Southwestern State College, we also do believe that the earlier that you apply, the better. But after you submit your admissions application, you definitely need to make sure to get your transcripts into us, whether they be college or high school transcripts. And then essentially testing. Most students who are attending Florida public high schools will be considered exempt from testing. However, we usually recommend that students go ahead and submit any ACT or SAT test scores. If the student is required to test, like let's say they started high school in New York State, and then they came down to Florida and finished up their high school years, their junior and senior year at a Florida public high school, they would still then be required to submit test scores. Let's say they did not take like an ACT or an SAT test. They could actually come on our campus after scheduling a testing time and after completing that admissions application and actually take the PERT test. So that is the PERT. It's a college placement test. And you can come and actually take that on our campus free of charge. And then after we have your transcripts and your test scores, you will have access to your student portal. And if at any point after you have that student ID, you can go ahead and fill out that residency form. We also have that in an e-form, so you can actually sit down with your parents near a computer and complete that together. If you are over the age of 24 and meet one of those independence criteria, you can actually provide your own documents. But if you do have any questions about that, please go ahead and reach out to our admissions office because the best way to get those answers, just go straight to the source, go straight to those experts. And then financial aid and scholarships, please do keep in mind that this is not necessarily required for you to gain access to our classrooms. If you are not completing the FAFSA for whatever reason, it's not going to necessarily prevent you from being able to enroll in Florida Southwestern State College. However, I will state that I'm a huge supporter of students completing the financial aid application and our institutional scholarship application, just because there's so much money that's left on the table year after year. For instance, FSW, we actually awarded over $4 million in scholarships just last year.
Wow.
So there's over 200 separate scholarship funds that award several students underneath each one. And those are awarded each and every academic year. So it's important to know whatever institution you end up attending, find out their own institutional scholarship policy, and find out if they require you to fill out a scholarship application each academic year, or if it's just you fill it out once and then it's kind of like set it and forget it and you get considered every single year. But that's definitely an important thing to find out about. Or does the institution have like tuition waivers? There's so many different avenues that you could actually go down to to help pay for college. And then FSW does actually have a housing application for students that are looking to live on campus. That housing application always opens the beginning of February. So it's definitely very important. Those rooms are essentially first come, first serve. So the first people to fill out that housing application will secure a room or a res hall. And then orientation and advising is going to be at the last step in the entire process. During the orientation and advising session, students will actually meet with academic advisors, go over an education plan, and sit down and select classes. They'll also learn about a ton of various different resources that we have on the campus, where to find those, and how to be successful on the FSW campus.
Wonderful. And we've had a couple of questions come in.
Okay.
I see that. I'm happy to answer a couple there.
Please.
Audrey and Daniela, we do not require an essay or letters of recommendation for the application process. If you're not admitted to the university and you choose to appeal an admissions decision, then we might ask you for those documents. But on the first time around, it's primarily merit-based. We are looking at GPA and test scores essentially. So with regard to the time for admission for students, that is actually for students who will complete their application by November 1. We are looking to get you guys an admissions decision in the month of December. So we're hoping before the holidays, so you'd hear back in the month of December. If you guys are pushed back into the next applicant pool, which is the deadline would be March 1st, then decisions will then come out in the springtime. So you do have to wait a bit, but hopefully we can get everything completed by November 1. And then, what other questions do we have? I see.
And Audrey's asking about institutional scholarships.
Yes, absolutely. And Elena, we're going to talk about scholarships in a later slide.
I think we've got some stuff coming up, and if not, we can save it till the end if you want to come back to it. Sure.
Sure. I mean, just real quickly, yes, we do have institutional scholarships. We have merit award at FGCU. We do accept Bright Futures, Florida Prepaid, things of that nature. Our institutional scholarships are called our foundation scholarships, and those are additional and stackable with one another. So those scholarships do add up. Just as Ashley mentioned, I think that it's a fantastic way to get ahead on your your tuition and bills, and then also cost of housing should you choose to live on campus. So there are definitely resources out there. I am not necessarily an expert in the financial aid side of things, but that is a department at FGCU. And should you visit campus, you're welcome to stop into McTarnigan Hall and set up a visit with financial aid, or call them or email them as well.
Great. We're ready to move on to the next slide. I think we've got questions answered. I think we're in pretty good shape. So this is going to be, I think, more geared towards Alex than anyone else, since both Ashley, I know Alex is getting all the good questions today.
You put me to the test. This is good. I'm earning my paycheck.
There we go.
With regard to admissions review, again, this year we kind of have those two application pools: early action, which is making sure everything's in before November 1, or regular decision, which is everything before March 1st. So then our decisions come out shortly thereafter in each application pool. Let's see. If you are admitted, that's plan A, right? Congratulations, you're an Eagle. Then, it's a little bit of a waiting game, but we'll get you signed up for orientation. Make sure you're reading your emails. We want to definitely stay on top of those. We're going to kind of funnel you through that process of orientation, proving residency, housing applications, etc. So just make sure you're diligent about reading your emails. If you are deferred from one application pool to another, so let's say you apply in November, everything's complete and ready for review, and you're just borderline, we're not quite sure if we're ready to admit you yet, we want to see if you can provide any updated test scores or see how your senior year goes, then we may defer you to the next application pool, which would be that regular decision, which then has that deadline of March 1st, and you'd hear thereafter. If you're denied to the university, we're just not sure that you're going to be successful at the university quite yet, then there are definitely other options. one, you can still submit updated SAT or ACT scores as well as an updated GPA on your transcript throughout your year. So don't be discouraged necessarily. If you have a stellar SAT or ACT, you can still submit that to us and potentially be reconsidered. There's no guarantees, of course. It's all based on the applicant pool. It's a competitive process. But otherwise, we do have our sister institution at FSW, which is a great option for students who will earn their associate's degree and transfer in. So we do offer transfer scholarships, you guys. There are just lots and lots of opportunities. And so there's different pathways into our university. It's just a matter of what criteria you meet at the time.
I'm outside this relationship, and yet I'm going to tell you that I have been really, really impressed with the way that FSW and FGCU have worked together to make that transition from the associate's degree to the bachelor's degree so seamless and so helpful and so wonderful for students, especially right here in Lee County, that we're looking to kind of help and make that goal for you. It's been wonderful to hear about and to know that teamwork is being operated on your behalf. It's really all there to kind of assist you. If you're not quite ready to do the 4-year university, right off the bat, and you want to go ahead and earn your associates, maybe you need to go part-time for a little bit, maybe you need to work a little bit more, whatever's going on to meet your needs. These two have really got some great programs and great assistance out there to help you with that. So it's really kind of wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, you deserve it.
Thanks. But I do see that we received a couple other questions. One of the questions was, how do students know they earned a scholarship? I can speak to that for Florida Southwestern State College. We will inform students via email, and then also oftentimes in snail mail for our presidential scholarships that are usually awarded to our first time in college students coming in. Those students will actually receive an electronic award packet via email, and then also like a hard copy award packet. But most students are notified via email, and then also they will see the award post in their student portal. Is it the same for you at FGCU?
It is very similar. So we have what we call Gulf Line. It's our student portal that students can log in and see what kind of financial aid and scholarships they've been awarded, as well as the students who apply in this early action pool that I keep talking about. They will not only get an admissions decision in the month of December, but they will also be notified of merit award if they've qualified for that in the month of December, which, you guys, it's exciting for us for you guys to know so early what we're able to provide you, for you to make a really educated decision on whether or not we're the right choice. I do see a quick question here regarding whether or not merit scholarships are revoked if students go part-time. I do think that students have to be full-time in order to keep their merit scholarships. However, that is a question that I might have to defer to my scholarship coordinator, Jesse Delgado. Our emails are again on an earlier slide, but I'm happy to provide that to you. And if you email me that question, I can put you in touch with our scholarship coordinator as well. And then another quick question I see with regard to Gavin's question of, do we review academic history outside of the transcript? I guess I'm not exactly sure what you mean by academic history, but we will look at your weighted GPA. So that comes in on your transcript, or it's calculated by the SAR as well. And that's really the number that we're looking for. Our average weighted GPA at FGCU for admitted students is 3.87. And again, those AP classes, those IB courses, dual enrollment, they're all considered in that weighted GPA. And the same thing goes for our scholarship purposes as well. We're looking at your weighted GPA.
Okay.
Perfect.
And
Good questions, you guys.
Yeah, Florida Southwestern State College looks at an unweighted GPA.
And we don't care. As long as you got a standard high school diploma, we're happy. Let me go ahead on to the next slide here. And then I think we've all kind of talked to you about the importance of FAFSA. I think all three campuses, as well as most of the high schools here in town, are going to have one or more FAFSA nights for you to go ahead. It is silly to write a check or to get mom and dad to write a check when somebody is willing to give you money. And they won't give you the money if you don't ask. So the first step is always, always, always to complete that free application for federal student aid. And then that helps us help you to be able to access all of that money. Okay, they're out there. So we're looking to make sure that you've got every opportunity to make sure that school is as paid for as you can get it. All right. I am going back. I see a couple of questions up here. Do colleges like to see students participate in sports, clubs, community service? Is this part of the decision-making process for admissions? Alex, Ashley?
I can certainly take that one to start. We do love to see well-rounded students at Florida Gulf Coast University. We think that that's very important. The decision-making process for admissions is based primarily on GPA and test scores. However, when you do create your Eagle account, there is a place for you to add some of your interests, some of your extracurricular activities that you've done. And I think that, those are definitely valuable things as prospective students. So, and then with regard to the recalculated GPA, the GPA that we look at is from your core classes, your English, your math, etc. And so that's kind of the recalculated GPA that we do use. That is done automatically with the SAR, and it's something that our evaluators take care of when we submit an official transcript.
Okay, awesome. Ashley, anything to add on that topic or on FAFSA? Either of you want to chime in with how important that part of it is?
Okay. Well, one thing that I will say is that if you do live in the area, Florida Southwestern State College, the week of November 18th, we are going to be holding Bucks for Bucks information sessions, which will allow you an opportunity to learn a little bit more about some of the scholarships that I did mention earlier in our webinar, but also to get some assistance completing that free application for federal student aid. I know the entire time that I was in college, I struggled sitting down and actually completing that financial aid application. So I definitely understand how overwhelming the process can be, and just having someone there to ask questions, to kind of point you in the right direction, to tell you what to fill in for what box and what line on the taxes that they're looking at. That can be extremely helpful, especially if it's your first time ever completing this document.
I will tell you too, with the FAFSA, don't let it scare you. The first big chunk of the FAFSA is things that you do all the time. It's your name, it's your address, it's where did you go to high school. And if you can get at least that part of it kind of out of the way, so don't let it scare you so much that you can't start. So please jump in. If you put the word FAFSA into Google, it's going to take you exactly where you need to go to be able to start working on it. And I would urge you to open it up. And like I said, give it a try. If nothing else, even if you're not sure what to do with the financial information of it, you absolutely can fill in the sort of demographic information of who you are, what you need, what you're looking for, where did you go to high school, all of that kind of information. And that at least is going to make the time that you use to meet with Bucks for Bucks, for our financial aid department at our school, for anyone at FGCU, even for your high school counselors who are anxious to help you, that time is going to be better spent because you've done the basics. You're not going to be taking time during that hour that you've got to meet with folks to fill in your name and address. So I would urge you to at least jump in. It can't bite. So go ahead and fill in what you can, and then we can jump from there about what it is that you need when you do actually get stuck. And we're happy to help.
Well, and also the application itself, technology has come so far that it's actually pretty intuitive. So if you click into a box and you don't know necessarily what to put in there, if you click in on the right-hand side, it'll actually point you in the right direction, or at least give you some pointers of what information they're looking for you to populate in that specific data field. Oh, and I see a question here. Can you start applying for FAFSA as a junior in high school? The answer would be no to that, because you will actually be completing your financial aid application for the academic year that you're starting in college. So for instance, if you're starting in the fall of 2020, so this upcoming August, you would be then completing that application now. So it's going to be seniors or other students that are preparing to enter college that next academic year.
And they open, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no.
They open the FAFSA on October 1st of your senior year for that following fall. So if you go ahead anytime after October 1st, jump in there and you will be able to go ahead and complete that and know, again, that you're settled. You're ready to go. It's kind of like that November 1st deadline that Alex talked about. The faster you get that done and you know you're checked in, and you're done and you've completed your FAFSA and it's been submitted, the less weight you have on your mind of wondering, am I ready? Have I done everything I can do? I saw a couple of questions about, does it matter the colleges that you put on your FAFSA? Yes and no. If any college code that you put on there, their financial aid department is going to be able to pull that FAFSA application to be able to look at that and see it. But it doesn't mean that if you change your mind or something changes for you, that you can't go in and put an additional college code in. So you can always go ahead and update those so that the various financial aid institutions are able to take a look at what it is that you've submitted and be able to help you. Next question. Each of you represents different types of colleges. How do the tuition and fees compare? So I'll go first on that one because I'm the shortest term. Most of my programs our motto is a career in a year. So most of my programs are full-time, 8 to 2:30, Monday through Friday, and you're with us for about 1 year, and you're going to come out as a certified welder, as an auto mechanic, as an air conditioning technician, as a CNA, a certified nursing assistant, as an early childhood educator. So those are the kind of programs that I have on my campus. And my programs run anywhere from about $1,000 for our certified nursing program, all the way up to $7,000 for my longest program on campus, which usually takes about 3 semesters, and that's my auto service tech. But all of our numbers are all inclusive. That's everything that you would need from door in to door out, whether it's tools, books, uniforms, what have you. Any and all of that is going to be included in that number for my programs.
Okay. Well, at Florida Southwestern State College, all of the courses that we offer, essentially each one of those will either be like usually 3 credits to 4 credits. So essentially students will pay per credit. We offer certificate programs that'll last anywhere from 1 semester, which is usually about 16 weeks long, all the way up to a year and a half, to 2-year programs. So associate in arts, associate in science degrees in various different occupational capacities. And then also our bachelor's degree programs. So we do offer 4-year degrees as well. But essentially students will pay per credit. So for any type of like an undergrad credit, essentially for a Florida resident, it's $113.36 per credit. So usually any typical class is usually about like 3 credits. So that'll run you about like $350. Okay. Please keep in mind like books and other like minor educational expenses may lay outside of that scope of tuition. But essentially, if you wanted to take like 1 class at a time all the way up to what the federal government would consider full-time, like 12 credits, we usually recommend about like 15 credits if you want to make sure that you're going to complete like an entire 2-year degree in a 2-year time frame. But essentially, it's roughly about like $350 per class. So for a full academic year, if you were to take 30 credits, it's about $3,400.
Great.
Yeah.
As far as Florida Gulf Coast University is concerned, our tuition and fees are $203.94 per credit hour. So what that breaks down to is if you are going to school full-time, on pace to graduate in 4 years, we typically recommend around 15 credits per semester. 30 credits then, a full academic school year would cost you around $6,118, okay, in tuition and fees. So just over $6,000 in tuition, If you choose to live on campus, that's an additional cost. That's typically between $4,800 and $6,700 per academic school year, but that is not required. So if you live here locally in Fort Myers, you can commute to FGCU, and then we offer optional meal plans as well. So all of those things, are listed on our website. And then also, I'm posting right now a link to our scholarships at FGCU, and this is a broad spectrum of scholarships, you guys. So it includes lots of information with regard to merit award, our foundation scholarships we talked about. There are other scholarships for things like AVID, CROP, Take Stock in Children, etc. So just make sure that you are going through these things and seeing what is available to you. I see another question. It says, what do we want school counselors to stress to seniors at this point in the school year and then at the end of the school year? And I would say, of course, a couple things. We want to avoid senioritis if at all possible.
Absolutely.
I think my colleagues can probably attest to that, right? We want to make sure our senior year finishes strong. At FGCU, we do see students who are borderline on the admissions at the beginning of the senior year, and they do finish on a really strong note, and that's always great to see. Students that are going on that right trajectory. And then the other thing that I would suggest is, just like we just posted, financial aid, scholarships, etc. Just briefly, in my experience, when I was in high school, I did not take advantage of these things, and that's why I'm so passionate about getting this information to students. I was a student who would have qualified for merit award at FGCU. I had no idea it even existed. I didn't go to school here, but at the same time, you want to make sure you take advantage of all the things that are available to you. And that's why, myself and my colleagues are so passionate about this topic.
Absolutely. I'm going to say, just as not only an admissions officer, but I'm actually a mom of a current college student right now. My son is up in Tallahassee. Please ask somebody else for money. Please make sure that you fill out those applications. Moms get really tired of writing checks. So go ahead and ask other people who are more than willing to help you, because I'm already footing the bill for all the pizza that he's eating up in Tallahassee. So I would love for somebody else to be helping out as much as possible with tuition, with housing, with any of those expenses. That's a great thing. So we're really excited as professionals and as family members and everything for you to take this next giant step. And so please make sure that your ducks are in a row. We want school counselors, and they do a wonderful job of assisting with many of these issues that we're talking about tonight. But it also behooves students to go ask them for the help they need. School counselors and school teachers, everybody, they're dealing with a lot of students, and they might not realize that you need specific help in an area. So please don't be shy. Reach out to us, reach out to the high school counselors, reach out to your teachers. Anybody and everybody is going to be excited for you moving forward and moving on, and we're all here to help. So that's kind of a thing to keep in the back of your mind as well. I just want to make sure that we're on track and we're asking all these questions. So we've talked a lot about how to start the process and deadlines and scholarships. Please come and see campuses, more than one that you're interested in. I know with my son, the senior, the spring break of his junior year, we road tripped all over Florida, taking a look at all kinds of colleges and setting up and taking a look at where he thought he was going to be at home. And I would urge you, as much as possible anyway, to kind of come and at least locally check out the options that are available for you here, right in your backyard. Anything to add there for those guys? I just want to make sure, because we're coming down to the last 5 minutes. We've had so many great questions. Yeah. I want to make sure that we've answered. I know, it's been great. This has flown by. I was worried, but it has just flown by this hour. So if you've got anything else that you want to ask us, we are dying to respond. So anything else during our question phase here? I'm going to ask you a question. Where do you all go to high school? All of you Lee County students? Are you Collier County? All right, I'm not seeing any other questions. We asked for them and now we run out. What's up with that? Anything else that you guys want to cover that we did not get to this evening? So I know that dual enrollment is available on all 3 of our campuses. So yes, absolutely, you can go ahead and do that. Join us during your senior year, junior and senior year for some of our campuses. And all of the first step on that is always going to be your school counselor. So if you start with your school counselor and express an interest, they're going to assist you with getting applications done. For my campus, we do an application for FSW and for FGCU. I believe there's some testing involved to be able to go there as a dual enrolled high school student. But it's a wonderful way to get started. Oh, how do you prioritize class rank in admissions?
I can speak on behalf of FGCU. Class rank is something that we do see sometimes on transcripts that come in. However, I will tell you that as far as our admission decisions are made, it's primarily based on that weighted GPA as well as the official SAT or ACT score. So class rank is not necessarily something that we evaluate. That's a really good question.
Absolutely. And I'm seeing folks from all over. This is wonderful. Yeah. We've got some Collier, we've got some charter schools, we've got a couple of Lee counties, Lee virtual. All right, this is awesome. Any other questions that we can answer for you, as we've got about 5 minutes left before we wrap things up, and I want to make sure that there are no other questions that we could help you with at this time. All right, Audrey, where do you teach?
All right. Well, and while maybe another question or two is going to roll in, to just piggyback on our discussion about dual enrollment, I do think that dual enrollment is an amazing opportunity that you could take advantage of while in high school to earn certificates or earn college credit, and then you don't even have to worry about any of the hassle of actual tuition, worrying about how much books cost or anything along those lines. And you can go ahead and get some of those basic foundational courses that are usually required for any particular bachelor's degree. Just take those general education courses out of the way while you're still in high school, while they are still not only counting for college credit, but they're also helping you earn that high school degree. So I couldn't sing any more praises for the dual enrollment program.
Absolutely. And those classes all do count. If your ultimate goal is to get into FGCU where they're looking at that weighted GPA, then dual enrollment classes are only going to help boost that GPA and really help you. I got to say that one of my favorite things in the world is to know that students in my campus, when they walk across my stage in May, that they're also going to be walking across their high school stage in May. 2 graduations for the price of 1. So we love to see folks come in for dual enrollment and be finishing up 2 programs at the same time. It's a wonderful opportunity. As a dual enrollment student, is there a possibility for you to get an AA?
Yes, that is entirely possible. Students at Florida Southwestern State College can start actually enrolling in dual enrollment classes from the beginning of their freshman year. So as long as they are testing at college level, especially for reading and writing, essentially they can start taking dual enrollment classes. So again, please speak to your school counselor if you do have questions, if you qualify or not, and they can go over the GPA requirements, the test score requirements with you. But essentially we do have students all of the time that are graduating with their Associate of Arts degrees.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Then, so Alex, I'm sorry, there was another question here and we've got about 3 minutes to go, so I wanted to make sure that we get it in there. Alex, do you use CLEP tests at all on your campus?
We do. As a matter of fact, I'm pulling up our on our website, our CLEP page. So I'm going to post that in the comments here. CLEP tests are something that we do accept at FGCU, and I do believe we provide some of those tests at our testing services center. So those are ways to test out of college coursework. And then to go back to the dual enrollment topic also, I just want to second and third everything that you both had already said. I think it's a fantastic way to earn college credits while you're in high school. We accept those credits as well at FGCU. We also offer our ACE program where students can take classes at FGCU full-time while they're in high school. And I think the world of dual enrollment, I think it's a great way to kind of get your feet wet with college and just experience some of those things while still in high school and have that opportunity paid for.
Absolutely. Well, we've come to the end of our hour. I can't believe how quickly it has gone. I want to thank you so very much for joining us. Please let your friends know. Join us for the next one next month. Please let your friends know to come and log on, especially if you found this to be helpful. And please do not hesitate to reach out to any one of the three of us, and we're happy to help you with what other questions you might think of later. All of our contact information is going to be there on the YouTube page so that you can reach out to any of us if you've got additional questions or concerns or personal things that you'd just like to ask more privately, and we're happy to help with any of those. So I'm going to take the time to say thank you so very much on behalf of my co-presenters. We appreciate you tuning in, and we look forward to having you on our campuses. Guys, anything else?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, folks. We would love to have you on our campuses. Thanks again. I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and we will talk to you again soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.